All right, we live. So yeah, yo, I just watched a video with what is it, Pheno Boxing. The chick had asked Eddie Hearn some questions and shit, and the shit that he said was, yes, they did know about the positive test result before the fight, but they actually had a hearing. So this shit was all shit that was discussed. This is why I don't even like reacting to shit like this as it's happening, because you get too attached to a particular school of thought, and everything that you hearing is not the whole story. You just hearing shit as it comes out, and you make inferences based on the little bit that you know, when the little bit that you know might not even be shit. Like, you don't have the whole story, so why even try to draw a conclusion when you know you don't got the whole story? This is why I don't like reacting to shit just like that. I like to wait, let the story tell itself, and then react to that. Because if you just reacting to the shit as it happens, you probably gonna end up going way left field when that's not even really what's going on. What's goody, kid? What's goody? B plans. I'm mad. Or chigga. It ain't even Vada though, bro. That's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you don't have all the information, you gonna end up thinking a lot of things that really don't got nothing to do with nothing. When you don't have all the information, you just gonna end up like, and we all at that point right now, because once again, we don't have all the facts. We don't know all the particulars of the story. The only ones that's running with whatever they hear, in all honesty, is PBC fans, because PBC fans want to use whatever they could use to either badmouth Eddie Hearn or badmouth Dillian Whyte. So they the main ones that want to react to whatever they hear so that they could paint a narrative and tell a story. When the smartest thing you could do is admit that you don't have all the facts, you don't know what's going on, and you need to let the story develop, because you really don't know what's going on. We don't have all the particulars. UCAD is BS, so WBC, so is BBC. A lot of top heavyweights popped at some point. Yeah, that's just the truth of it, bro. That's just the truth of it. A lot of the top guys is guys that got popped. So I mean, Tom Hauser, the journalist who broke the story, has a new interview on Boxing Short. Yeah, but you got to be careful with Thomas Hauser, because he was the one who made all those allegations about Floyd Mayweather. And then USADA promptly responded to his article and shot all that bullshit down. Thomas Hauser is good for jumping the gun. That's why when I seen it was coming from Thomas Hauser, I'm like, this the same dude that tried to say all that illegal IV shit about Floyd, and both Bob Bennett and USADA said the IV wasn't illegal. That wasn't even really what the issue was. It was the IVs before a fight is not illegal. So why? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of shit. That's why when I seen it was Thomas Hauser, I'm like, yo, I got to take the story with a grain of salt, because I see who it's coming from. And I remembered that he said all that shit about Floyd and all this extra shit. And right after he said that, USADA responded to him. And Bob Bennett went on camera and said Floyd Mayweather did not break any rules. He did not violate any protocols. So whatever, you know what I'm saying? All that Thomas Hauser shit is a bunch of shit that he is jumping to conclusions with a bunch of inaccuracies. And the only ones who really have stock in that article, I hate to say it, but it really is Manny Pacquiao's fans. They the main ones that think Thomas Hauser is the gospel. And it's like, bro, y'all didn't see that all that shit he said got shot down? Y'all didn't see that? All right, what's goody, Las Vegas? What's goody, Andrew? What's goody, Ivan? What's goody, Galaxy? But yeah, man, you gotta let the story develop. It's just like anything else. If it's something marinating, you gotta let it cook. Don't turn the flame off. You gotta let it cook. If something going on, it's gonna come out. So we gonna see. You just gotta wait. White's press statement tomorrow will give us a better hold up. White's press statement tomorrow will give us a better picture. If the excuse doesn't fly, Miller style, then I'm done. Well, that's the thing. When I saw there were there were three things really that stood out to me. And one is that the British Board of Boxing Control had prior knowledge of the adverse finding before the fight. So that can only mean two things. One, whatever they found was not grounds to call off the contest. It could be that. Or two, there's a cover up and it's all coming out in the wash. It's one or the other, because if they had prior knowledge of an adverse finding, there's only two courses of action to take. Either whatever was found was reviewed and discussed, and maybe they decided that this is not grounds to terminate the contest, or some crazy shit went on and they tried to hide it. It's one or the other. But the story seems to be that they had prior knowledge. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I do need them glasses, bro. You ain't even lying. I do need them glasses on some real shit. But yeah, man. Sometimes you gotta let shit develop, man. The way that the sport of boxing is discussed these days is not the way that it was discussed when I was coming up, when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers spent more time talking about the fights than the conjecture and the gossip. And it was a lot easier to arrive to a conclusion because you didn't have so many people filling the air with false information. The bad shit about this era is that you got a lot of YouTube channels, for example, that they say a lot of shit that they made up themselves, and people gravitate towards that shit. They become attached to that school of thought, and everything that you hearing is bullshit. Everything you hearing is some shit that a motherfucker made up, because they don't distinguish the facts from the opinions. WBC rankings are a joke. They do. I mean, you ain't lying, Galaxy. They do what they want. Everybody knows that shit. They really do what they want. There's very few people in the WBC's rankings that earned their way to the top. A lot of motherfuckers, you could tell something ain't right. Okay, doesn't matter. Wildest fans are nervous about. I agree with you, LR Chigga. I agree with you, because if you think that Wilder could knock out Dillian Whyte, right? If you confident in that shit, then why would you be against Whyte getting the fight? The whole time that Dillian Whyte was trying to become Wilder's mandatory, you only seen one group of people that was against that shit. And I'm thinking, why would they be against it if you think Wilder could knock him out? Don't you want to see Wilder knock him out? If you think he's going to win, then it shouldn't be a problem. But as long as you keep depriving him of the opportunity, you making yourself look some kind of way. I'm not really feeling today's boxing. When I used to watch boxing with my stepfather, you right about that, Lisa. You right about that. It used to be about the boxing. It used to be about what goes on in the ring. But now, because every boxer feels like a superstar, you get a lot of bureaucracy. You get a lot of red tape. And the truth of it is that a lot of them ain't superstars. There's probably only a handful of guys in the sport of boxing that could really call themselves superstars. Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, Manny Pacquiao. Who else qualifies as a bona fide superstar in the sport of boxing? You feel me? I know Cecilia Brækhus is big in Norway, so she's a superstar in her own backyard. I know that Kubrat Pulev is real big in Bulgaria. He's like, he's one of their guys. Like, that's their guy. That's their face of boxing. What's that, man? Boxing Scene also reported that it was very... Yeah, but you know what the thing is about small traces? For that particular drug, it was quality. I mean, it was qualifiable, not quantifiable, meaning that so long as any trace amount of that drug is in your body, it's a violation. It's not like the meldonium shit or the weight cutting agent, the clenbuterol that they found in Canelo. With that particular set of drugs, so long as they find it in your body, no matter what the amount, it's a violation, because it just should not be there at all. That's what I read in the article. That is qualifiable, not quantifiable. So it's not the same as, oh, well, they found traces of meldonium or traces of clenbuterol. That's what it said, Andrew. It said that could have come from supplements. That's what it said. It did say that too, but a lot of people not going to hear that. But it does say that in the article, that those trace amounts, they're nominal enough that it could have come from an over-the-counter supplement. So we don't know, dog. What Hearn said, if you go to Pheno Boxing with the chick that does the interviews, Eddie Hearn said that they actually held a hearing, that he's not at liberty to divulge everything, but that they actually held a hearing, information was requested, and the protocols were followed. And he doesn't seem the least bit worried about it. And I went back to watch, to look at pictures of how they looked after the fight, and neither Dillian Whyte or Eddie Hearn looks the least bit worried about anything. So that has to stand for something, that neither one of them looked concerned at all. So if this was really some shit to be concerned about, they would have been concerned about it. But they didn't look concerned. So why do you believe Hearn? He's going to obviously defend his fighter. It's not about believing Hearn. I'm looking at the whole picture, Ahmed. If the British Board of Boxing Control had prior knowledge of that, why would they implicate themselves by allowing the contest to go on unless there was a premise to do so? You got to understand what the implications are before you go worrying about Eddie Hearn. The implications are that, hey, man, shut up. What? But yeah, you got to understand what the implications are, man. Before you go worrying about, oh, is somebody trying to exonerate Eddie Hearn? Nah, ain't nobody trying to exonerate Eddie Hearn. But you have to look at what the implications are, because the implications could be very bad. If the British Board of Boxing Control had prior knowledge of an adverse finding, that could only mean two things. Either y'all helped them cover it up, or it wasn't nothing to cover up, and that's why y'all let them fight. Because what we know is that y'all let them fight. So I don't think that the British Board of Boxing Control is going to be so cavalier to shoot themselves in the foot over a fight that, like, bruh, if you got to cancel it, you're going to have to cancel it, period. Because the only ones that's going to be in trouble if this comes out is y'all. So it's not even about believing Eddie Hearn. Yeah, an Androlone in the system for the Hammer fight. Whyte ain't Hearn's fighter. He is technically, yeah, I mean, it's not even technically a free agent. He is a free agent. He on a fight by fight basis. If he wanted, his very next fight could be on BT Sport. If he wanted, his very next fight could be on a PBC card. If he wanted. I like leaving stupid shit as the thumbnail because it grabs attention. I can't see them letting him fight after the death. Well, that's what I'm saying, Andrew. We gotta let the story tell itself. We cannot tell the story. And the problem with a lot of YouTube channels is they try to tell the story. They try to add shit. They try to make you believe a narrative that they created themselves. I don't even try to do that. All I try to do is present the scenarios that come to my mind. But I'm always careful to distinguish these as the facts and this is what I think about them. That's why you always hear me say, these are just my thoughts. Feel free to disagree. So that you know that what you're about to hear is not a matter of fact. It's something that is coming from me that I am thinking. You see what I'm saying? Whereas a lot of these other channels, they like to peddle a lot of fucking pure bullshit that they made up themselves. And these stupid motherfuckers run around repeating it like that shit is really news. I agree with you, Leo. I mean, I do agree with you that it just does seem a little bit too fucking convenient. But I don't want to run with that because I know where that shit is coming from. So that's why I'm not going to run with that, because I know where that school of thought is coming from. They're like, oh, so soon as he becomes Wilder's mandatory, all of a sudden shit starts to go haywire. This guy has been enrolled in the clean boxing program mostly since its inception, mostly because he's been the mandatory. Well, he's been, I should say, number one, not the mandatory, but he's been number one for over 600 days. The clean boxing program ain't been around but a little over 2 years. So most of them 2 years, he was subject to that. And all of a sudden, he tests positive for something. I'm saying, on both sides of the argument, it's reason to believe he cheated, but it's reason to believe that this shit might not be nothing. You gotta let the story tell itself. You can't tell a story. You gotta let the story tell itself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers on YouTube love just making shit up. And then motherfuckers will go somewhere else and repeat it. And then you ask them, yo, where the fuck you heard that shit at? And what they gonna do? They gonna show you a fucking LDBC channel. Like, man, stop fucking using LDBC channels for news. A lot of them motherfuckers can't even read. So did Miller. So did Miller and White. Joe Rogan is dead. What you talking about, Douglas? How was Joe Rogan dead? He died? I'm not saying like yo, I know that shit sound funny when I say it because I got good comedic timing. But at the end of the day, I'm not lying when I say a lot of the motherfuckers that come to my channel saying stupid shit, you could tell a lot of these motherfuckers can't even read. So why you act like be quiet? The smartest fucking thing some people could do is shut the fuck up. That's for some, for some. Sometimes the smartest fucking thing you could do is shut the fuck up. I ain't lying when I say that shit. Like, man, a lot of these motherfuckers just run around saying shit just to say shit, just to be on camera saying shit, so they can monetize another video because they like panhandlers on YouTube. That's what I look at them as. Like, they like panhandlers. Like, donate to the Patreon, y'all. And if you want to join the subscribe family, you get a free condom in the mail from Boxing Ego. Like, man, you one fucking nose hair away from breakdancing on a one train. How much? Yo, subscribe to the channel, y'all. That shit is crazy to me. Like, man, I don't got to do that. A lot of people ask me if I do that. I'm like, nah, this is a hobby, bro. These motherfuckers, this is a hobby. These motherfuckers, subscribe to the Patreon, y'all. The fuck out of here, man. Subscribe to these dickheads. Lying bad. That dude is a liar, man. Plus, he be acting like a diva on his channel. Like, you ask him a regular old question, he'll block you for that shit. Like, why you blocking people for asking you questions, man? Ain't it a boxing talk channel? You got LDBC. Oh, who is a LDBC bum? I don't know. Yeah, like the Cali Enigma, like yo, dog. I done seen these guys say shit like Wilder got 40 million for the Brazil fight, right? And while they lying about that shit, right? Fucking Stefan Espinoza himself said that they did not match the zone's offer. That's when I realized, like, dog, you know what? You can't waste time with them people, dog. Like, they just gonna keep lying. You could catch them in like 20 fucking lies. They just gonna tell another one tomorrow. Because they don't have no integrity. When you don't have no integrity, you ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. Because you know you full of shit, and you know that other people know you full of shit too. So ain't nothing for you to be ashamed of. You already know you full of shit. Like, how you gonna be ashamed when you have no shame? That's why it's like, why even dissect how many fucking lies they like to tell when, dog, that shit is too easy. If a motherfucker really wanted to know the truth, you're not gonna go to them. You just want to hear shit told a certain way. That's the only reason you will go to them. Because motherfuckers shoot down shit they say all the time. Who gave Wilder $40 million for Dominic Brazil? Who? Yeah, the failed politician that he schooled him. Like, yo, you the only one that's making it about race. If you got the fighter himself, right? The profession, think about what kind of a pompous ass you have to be. You have Andre Ward in front of you, right? And he talking to you. He's being nice enough to talk to you. And he's telling you, I didn't make it about race. You did that. And you got the fucking audacity to sit there and try to debate about it when it's the truth, though. Like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, you gotta be way out there to have the gall to do some shit. Because Andre Ward is in front of you telling you that shit, and you still want to argue. That's when I realized, looking at that shit, that's when I realized, like, yo, these motherfuckers can't be helped. Something else is going on with them that you don't need to waste time on them. The boxing guys opened up a cloud and told me that shit. Like, yo, you don't need to waste time on them guys, man. Tank cherry picking. Yeah, like these motherfuckers will sit there and complain about a DAZN matchup, but they have watched Tank fighting these I don't want to say that. I'm going to say they watch him fight in showcase fights for over a year going on 2 years. They don't complain about none of that shit. So it's like, bro, like, ain't even no reason to talk to y'all. Like, ain't no reason to talk to y'all. Like, you like that funny looking shit? You watch that shit. Because I know on Saturday, I'm going to be watching Hooker versus Ramirez. I ain't even going to look at the Showtime fight. I'm going to watch Hooker versus Ramirez and go to sleep. I don't care if Gervonta Davis is fighting on Saturday. I don't give a shit. I ain't watched his last fight. I had to catch it the next day. Because I'm like, I'm not staying up to watch this shit. Yeah, like it's only a matter of time before he blow weight and lose the title. That title should be with Cancio, but that's more of that crooked shit that they like. So worried about that shit. The best thing you could do if you don't like PBC, right? If you don't like the kind of content that they provide, then just don't watch that shit. Because that's what I do. I fell asleep on a couple of their fights. I didn't bother to watch a couple of their fights. Like which was the Cato fight? Charlo versus Cato. I had to catch that shit on the rebound because I didn't watch it when it was happening. I think that's the fight that was going on at the same time as the Andre fight. And I was more interested in the Andre fight, so I was watching that. Like, why would I fucking want to see Charlo fight another overmatched opponent? Why would I want to see that? What would you suggest to make the sport safer? What would I suggest? It's very hard to regulate all the things that are wrong with the sport of boxing without some higher authority. So there has to be some kind of a commission that is above the WBC and above the alphabets as a whole. There has to be, look, in baseball, baseball is MLB. So whatever's going on with baseball is MLB. And the same is true for football with the NFL, basketball, NBA. And boxing does not have a regulatory entity that's like that. They're like, yo, whatever's going on, we in charge of that. You see what I'm saying? You just got a bunch of different motherfuckers playing with the rules depending on where the fight is going to be. So the first thing should be you need to establish an authoritative figure because that's what boxing don't have. It don't have that. You would think that like, oh, the WBC is in charge. No, they not, because a motherfucker won't listen to them in a heartbeat. Y'all remember I did a video. They did a bunch of orders. That's the video where they ordered Luke Campbell to fight Mikey Garcia. They ordered Leo Santa Cruz to fight Gary Russell. Like, how you gonna try to order Leo to fight Gary when Leo is not? I mean, he got the diamond belt, but he don't give a fuck about that belt. Yeah, man. But yeah, we gonna see what happens, man. I got a feeling that it might not even be nothing. That the only reason it's being blown out of proportion is because there's people out there that try to use it as ammunition to take shots at Eddie Hearn, to take shots at Dillian Whyte, and to take shots at Matchroom. I have a feeling that the only reason this shit kind of blew up the way that it did is because of them. Because for what it's worth, neither Dillian Whyte or Eddie Hearn seem all too concerned with what's going on. They look like they good to go. They like Eddie Hearn, you could read body language, feel me? And I looked at the interview and that motherfucker looked the same. Like, I know y'all got questions, but I can't tell y'all right now. That's all I seen. That's all I seen. Are you okay with Teddy Atlas' statement saying Wilder trying to sign out Whyte PBC? Yeah, I mean, it is extortion though. It is extortion though, Leo. Deontay Wilder admitted that he said that if you want to fight, sign a multi-fight contract with the PBC. That's extortion, bro. Why the fuck do you have to monopolize the talent just for somebody to get a fight with you? You the world champion. You not the PBC champion. You the world champion. So why the fuck everybody got to be signed to the PBC to fight you? PBC is not the world. It's a whole world outside of the PBC, but y'all don't want to deal with that. So what y'all try to do is extort motherfuckers. That's what they try to do. That's why they trying to freeze out Crawford. That's why they trying to not recognize the WBO, because they trying to extort motherfuckers. They trying to monopolize all the talent, and it's too much talent out there for y'all to try to monopolize it. Ain't enough fight dates you could get with the content deal that you have that you should even be trying to monopolize all the talent. You should be willing to work with others. You should say shit like, look, we going to send Charlo to y'all if you send so-and-so to us. Let's say we'll send you Charlo if you send us Farmer. You get a unification fight, we get a unification fight. If they was really about their business, would be doing. But who you see doing that? Top Rank. Top Rank is doing that. Top Rank is doing that with Matchroom. I'm pretty sure. I feel like what's going to end up happening is B-Ball is going to end up fighting on ESPN. Why? Because Ramirez is fighting on DAZN. So they might be like, look, we sent you Jose Ramirez. Can you send us Dimitri B-Ball? Can you do that for us? You see what I'm saying? Or maybe you could send us Tevin Farmer so he could fight Miguel Bachel. We could do it like that. As long as they keep the dialogue open, that shit that PBC doing don't even fucking matter, because y'all don't have a lot of the good fighters in a lot of different weight classes. All y'all got in the Oya Inui's division is Luis Nery, but y'all don't have no belts for him to fight for. So that motherfucker stuck. All these other motherfuckers in the Inui division is with other outfits. So what y'all gonna do when Luis Nery want to fight for a title? What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do for Marcus Brown? He got 2 title shots, but he ain't finna fight for none of them. Smash the like button. PBC got a... Yeah, like, motherfuckers act like because PBC got welterweight on Smash that they got most of the talent in boxing, and no, the fuck they don't. Who they got at 130 besides Davis? Why you think they keep matching him against guys from 126? Because they don't got nobody else at 130. Who they got at 135? Who they got at 140? Who they got? You got Robert Easter with a fake-ass WBA title or whatever that, the gold belt that they was fighting for. But all the big names, they ain't got them. Y'all don't got them. Lomachenko, Top Rank. Campbell, Matchroom. Kroller, Matchroom. Comey, Top Rank. Teofimo, Top Rank. Anybody that matters at 135 is with somebody else. Nobody give a fuck about no goddamn Robert Easter versus Rancis Bartholomew. Nobody cared about that fight. No fucking body watched that fight. And that's what's going on with PBC. That's what's going on most of the time. They had Peter Quillen fight Caleb Truax. No disrespect to the fighters. But at the end of the day, that's a fight that didn't nobody fucking care about. Nobody watched that shit. So they could do that. They could do that. Oh, you can't sit with us bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers table small as hell anyway. So most motherfuckers not going to sit with y'all. What y'all got going on at cruiserweight? Fucking nothing. The only pony y'all had in the show got knocked the fuck out. Am I lying? The only pony they had in the cruiserweight division, the only pony they had in that show got knocked the fuck out. Even I wasn't expecting that shit. I thought he was better than that. 175, y'all got Marcus Brown, who's a very good fighter. Y'all got Badu Jack, but guess what? Y'all don't got belts for neither of them to fight for. Neither of them. 168, they not doing too bad. They got Caleb Plant, they got David Benavidez, Anthony Durrell, Avni Yildirim. They fake cool with Chris Eubank Jr. So they got some ponies in that show, but they not really making no noise. Like, y'all not really orchestrating nothing big. So we gonna see if they can. At middleweight, y'all dry as a bone. You got Charlo, the WBC title, but he could have a green belt. Who you gonna put him in there to fight? Who you gonna? He could have a green belt. Who you gonna put him in there to fight? Where's the fights for him? The good ones. Unless you're willing to work with other people, He gonna keep fighting them Kato kind of guys. That's the kind of fights that he gonna have. Y'all gonna have to fuck around and move Jamal Charlo up to 168 because y'all don't want to work with Golden Boy. Y'all want to work with them. Y'all don't want to work with Matchroom. Y'all don't want to work with ESPN. A dope fight that would not require a lot. That it's not like, oh, it's a mega fight. It's a mega fight. Would have been like Rob Brandt or Ryota Murata versus Jamal Charlo. That would have been a dope fight, but it won't happen. Why? Because PBC don't want to work with nobody. Shit. Anyway, it was good talking to y'all.